And in our TV talk segment today, we're talking Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
No.
Not
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Okay, so
2 very different shows based on the same intellectual property.
So is it based on a comic or what's it from? Okay.
And so you had the Melissa Joan Hart one that came out, what, in the 90s?
I think so.
It would have been my childhood had I been permitted to watch such things as a child.
Oh, wow.
My parents were kind of strict.
They had standards.
Oh, I love Sabrina.
Baptist minister, you kind of witches. No, we're not watching that.
No, we grew up watching it, and I really enjoyed it as a kid. We watched it in college again, just for
Was that the one with the black talking cat?
Yeah, Salem.
Okay, yeah, I've seen a few episodes, but then they're like, I don't watch that.
Clarissa.
Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart is Clarissa, explains it all. But
that explains my confusion. It's the same person. Okay.
Yes. But anyways, not that one. So Netflix has redone it. They try to do it with a darker twist, and they got that part right.
Oh, it's dark. I've only seen half an episode, and there was a gratuitous amount of blood in one scene, which was kind of fantastic.
Which, yeah, I like that.
But yeah, that was great.
So I'm like 3 episodes in, and normally I wouldn't review something if I hadn't seen, at least the majority of it to give my opinion on it. But I think 3 is where I'm going to stop. I don't think there's going to be more. I watched the first episode and did not like it. Okay. I just really didn't. But it's rated really good, and I know better. And nowadays to watch 1 and call it quits. So I said I'm gonna watch 2, and if the second one's no good, then I'm done. And I watched the second one, and I actually enjoyed the second one. I did. I went, okay, good. It's getting better. And I watched the third one, and the third one was bad. It was worse than the first one.
Oh.
And for me, where it falls down is you always talk about preachiness.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
This thing might as well have its own. It's got its own pulpit, its own church.
Oh.
It preaches hardcore. And
I must not have got to the preaching yet.
well, no, and not preaching this in probably the terms you're used to. Well, first of all, we worship the Church of Satan, and I just said that out loud, and that's on video.
In the movie.
I'm talking about
soon to be televised.
Soon to be televised. No, but no. So Sabrina, her aunts, and I don't know why. And maybe you can enlighten me on this. Somebody can. I don't mind dark stuff. I like horror movies. I like dark things. Like I'm always just, kind of the mean-spirited. I'm good with that. And for some reason, though, this just goes so hardcore into the, we're worshiping the Church of Satan, and now you must bow down to the Dark Lord, and you must sign your name in his book. And that's what the first 3 or 4 episodes are about, is about her signing her name in the book of Satan to devote herself to Satan. And it's like, nobody? Like, nobody's going to go, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Everybody's like, that's a good idea. Why don't you sign your name here?
Like I said, I'm only a half episode in, so there's no balance on the other side.
No.
Hey,
it's all
you should
like,
choose this other path.
Now, in fairness, she does come to that conclusion herself. She's like, because Satan literally lies to her. There's a guy that shows up, and he's like from the
Well, they never call him Satan.
Oh, the Dark Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's a goat figure that the Church of Satan sued them for using the image of. So I'm pretty sure.
Sued Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So
they're settled now, so it's okay.
Yeah, Netflix.
There will luckily be another season just in time for Christmas.
Netflix gave them $50 million. It's fine. And I'm not really picking sides here. But Sabrina does. It's just all pushing that way. And so then Sabrina, and that's not really my huge fault with this, actually. I just couldn't figure out why that bothered me, because normally something like that wouldn't bother me, and I don't know why it did here.
Well, allow me to play armchair psychologist here for a moment. And most of the dark things you like, and you do like some dark things.
Yes.
You kind of enjoy it because you're kind of living vicariously through them. It's something that sometimes you would kind of want to do yourself, but you would go to prison for.
Yeah.
This, I'm feeling that you probably don't identify with wanting to do anything.
No, and that is a big problem with this. I literally do not identify with anyone or anything in this show. And I know there are people because a lot of people watch it, and like you said, it's getting a second season, but it did not identify to me. But anyway, so Sabrina does. She comes to the decision, this guy's lying to me, maybe this is not the best thing for me to do, and that's where the major conflict of the show comes in, because she has her human family, and the human family is and well, not really family, they're friends,
Right,
but
they're
that's her
friends.
human
Still
side of
friends.
things. And then you've got the witch side, the dark side, and I mean, I usually cheer for the dark side, and I couldn't figure out in this one.
They are too dark even for you. Like
Well,
they
I think there's, if you look at the political metaphors of what they're going for, a lot of it is the land of the witches. They're pulling a lot of the empowering women against the patriarchy. So there's a lot of using the world of mortals to establish the world of man, which is taking advantage of women. And the problem is that if you have a hero who is empowered by being a witch and using that as their safer place, and then that is also bad, it's kind of hard to see how are you a hero? Where is your strength coming from, and how do you fit into the world?
Well, and that's actually, so my major flaw with this is actually not the dark side. So I enjoyed, and that's the part I actually enjoyed in the second episode.
Yeah.
It got more into the what she was going to have to do, and she makes this decision that she's not going to do it, and that causes all kinds of problems because she had apparently agreed to do it, and now she's backing out of it. But I enjoyed that part because that was very, fantasy. I love the fantasy element and dark, so I like that. Where this show drove me absolutely crazy is when she's with the humans, when
Yeah.
she's with the mortals, I guess.
Oh, the good guys.
Well, they're not good
No,
guys.
not the good guys.
They're
That's
not
the
good.
problem.
are no good guys.
Everyone is horrible. Everyone is horrid. Everyone uses everybody else. I don't think there is a man portrayed in this show that is either not like a vessel of Satan or might as well be.
Oh.
Like every man in this show is like misogynistic. Like he just like I can't.
Except for the boyfriend who is an
Clueless?
idiot.
An
Yeah.
idiot,
He
yeah.
was like half an episode, and I gathered, I'm like, really? You have no idea what's going on?
He's a hard-boiled egg. That's what he is.
Well, and he ends up, but he is also part. So here's my problem. There's this like political agenda, and I don't know if it's political, but there's a social agenda, political agenda that's basically being forced down my throat from watching this. And boy, this is going to get a lot of hate. But like, and I understand why people like it, because if you believe that way and you feel that way, then it resonates.
Yeah.
They made that show for you, and they didn't make it for me. And so Harvey ends up, the boyfriend's Harvey. He's like a dreamer, right? He's an artist. He's that stereotypical, like his dad is a coal miner, and his dad's like, hey, you got to get up and let's do some work, and he's like, but I just want to draw. And but it totally portrays Harvey then as this noble soul who is the artist being drugged down by the guys like, you really should have a job and be a worthwhile member of society. Well, that's portrayed as horrid, while his let's be an artist is portrayed as ideal. Any other male on the show again is portrayed as they're almost demonic. The human males are almost demons in the show.
Going on, kind of the twist on that is whenever Sabrina's at home, she has her cousin Ambrose.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught on, but Ambrose looks like he's the only one that actually does any work at the house.
He does, yeah.
He's actually down in the mortuary, like, taking care of the bodies, and he rolls up the gloves, and he actually does everything. And the ants just kind of sit around and bicker.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm thrown off because it's supposed to be like this female empowerment is the central theme of the story, but the women are just bickering and like being conniving toward each other, and like one of the ants kills the other one whenever she's tired of her. It's like, what is...
Kills her and buries her in the yard just because she annoyed her.
Yeah.
What?
It's
just so inconsistent with what their agenda is that they're trying to get to.
Huh.
So, and I think that's part of, like we were talking about earlier, why they got sued.
Yeah. Well, and so I think if I kept watching it, I think Sabrina might turn out to be, like, she might be the shining, like, she might be the actual good example that there should be.
Yeah, to rise above all that other insanity.
But the ants are horrible. Well, actually, one ant is trying to be kind of nice, but the one that really Zelda that actually has the power is, horrible. there's the 3 girls from the witch school that are just terribly mean to her, and they are
I did
horrible
see
and
them.
conniving.
They were horrible. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
and then you get Harvey's an idiot. Bronson Pinchot, Balki Bartakamoose plays the principal, and he oppresses the freedom of the people because that's what everyone in power does. I'm a teacher, and they portray teachers as either, again, complete idiots or oppressors of freedom, and like that's the way they're shown.
Wow.
That kind of doesn't sit well with me.
That's understandable.
And like I said, every other male, like there's the football players there's a.
Well, I know they were tormenting that one girl.
Yeah, there's a boyish looking girl, and which it doesn't show it, but they say off screen that she like pulled her shirt up to prove that she was a girl because they couldn't tell, and it's just, I mean, and there's I don't know if you got that far, but there's one scene where one of Sabrina's friends wants to read a book for a book report, or write a book report on a book or something, and the teacher told her no, that was like an inflammatory book or something like that, and you can't use that book. Didn't tell her you can't read that book, didn't tell her no one can read the book. She said you can't use that for your book report.
Right.
And all of it, then that teacher is horrible. The kids like go to the principal and they form a club and raise activism to fight against the oppression of this this censorship. And
did they say what the book was?
Yeah, she had the book. I can't remember.
I actually did a little bit of research on the book. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it is a book that has gone through that. So it is accurate in terms of pop culture that a lot of schools have forbid people to do book reports on this. Some have removed it from the library. I believe it was a book by Toni Morrison, but it was one of her earlier books, and there's familial themes that are inappropriate for children.
I got you.
But the book is written as a young adult novel, so it's written to an age range that these themes are probably not appropriate for discussion for, which is that's what's led to it getting banned.
Gotcha.
Well, and I mean, when we were in high school, there were books we were told we couldn't read, but it wasn't until you can't read this book,
right?
Which is probably what we were told is you can't read this. They weren't told that. They were told no, you can't use this for your book report.
Right. It's the bluest eye.
The bluest eye. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And they mentioned like. I think Catcher in the Rye was mentioned in there. They mentioned Clockwork Orange was mentioned in there. And like, I completely understand why a school wouldn't let you read a Clockwork Orange. That's what I read, and I'm like, yeah, I get that. And again, not read it, but no, you can't use this for your book report. And it became like half an episode about this. We're gonna form a group and go on this like freedom fighting mission to stop the oppression, of teenagers by these adults that are just trying to ruin our lives by not letting us, give a book report on this book. And it was just. And I mean, I'm sure I just sound like a complete idiot to this entire thing. but my main point was there's literally nothing, like every bit of this show goes against my personality, my character, my thoughts. Like there's just nothing in it for me.
There's one thing in it for me. Salem.
I haven't got to there yet.
He's amazing. He's the most powerful character in the show. He's relatable, I believe. And yes, I'm talking about a tiny black cat that his big shining moment in the second episode is when he attacks a scarecrow.
Yeah.
And I can see my cat doing that. If I was outside, there's a scarecrow and he just runs up and starts mauling at it. And it warmed the cockles of my heart.
Well, and like I said, I think if it kept going, I think Sabrina is going to rise above and she's going to be...
Yeah. But I don't care. I just want to know what happens to the cat.
Right. That's all our time, though. Thanks for watching Screen It or Stream It.
We went way too long. Whatever. Don't care.